Hey, how you doing? Tony Wasinski, official editor of the podcast, and here he is, Frankie Bergasetti. I've got him here to appraise some fine jewelry.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. I got my hands on this, I would call it this beautiful limited edition multi-diamond ring. A lot of guys have been asking me, can I pawn it? Can I get a piece of the action? The answer is no. I want you to take a look at this.
I did see that when you walked in. It is beautiful. It has that nice Miller Lite can on the front. Got a lot of diamond rings. I'm excited to get my hands on that. What do you think, nephew Dave?
Yeah, it's all right. Got that nice red ruby in there.
Show some respect, you dumb cocksucker.
Yeah, it's the best ring I ever put on. It beats my 1999 Wheaton Warrenville South championship ring that I won.
It reminds me I was at a wedding not too long ago. And I had an old friend of mine had the NBA championship ring out. I think he was on the 90-91 Bulls coming off the bench. He had that thing out glossing, flossing, and the ladies were flocking to him.
Unbelievable. Used to love watching the Bulls drinking Miller Lite back in those days.
Yeah, great tasting, less filling. Obviously, that's not where this story started, but that was a sweet spot of the story. I tell you, coming home, putting on Michael, having a couple.
So to celebrate the return of Miller Time moments over football, Miller Lite created the Miller Timeless Collection, a collection of 6 stunning rings set in solid 10-karat gold and featuring a microchip inside each ring. This chip can detect when all 6 rings are together enjoying Miller Time in football and unlock free Miller Lite. There is only 6-pack of the ring in existence. There is only 1 6-pack of the ring in existence. Will you be the one to win them for your group? No purchase necessary. Must be of legal drinking age in the U.S. For more information on how to enter and contest requirements, I've said that wrong every time this week.
I don't know. We've been reading the ads on this show for so long.
You know, I struggle a little bit, all right? All right? And contest requirements, visit MillerTimelessCollection.com.
Contest the contest. Hey, how you doing?
Yeah, English language stuff.
I thought it was nice. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Chicago sports fans. This is Barstool Carl.
And White Sox Dave.
Chief. Eddie.
And this is Redline Radio and All Gas, No Break Chicago Sports Podcast, brought to you by Miller Lite, brought to you by Barstool Sports Chicago, brought to you by these limited edition Infinity Stone rings, and brought to you by us. This is an interesting time as we get full fucking intersection on all 4 major sports. And it starts literally this week, right?
Tonight.
We got our Bulls. We got our Hawks.
We're recording on Wednesday. They'll be done by the time you listen to this.
Championship series drama across the board. Obviously, Bears are 13 fucking point dogs.
It's a tough look.
Yeah, it is a tough look. That's a tough scene.
But it's I don't know. This is like this. If you like...
Are they still
people say
13 point
October
dogs?
is the best month of the year, and I think they're actually talking about like right now, right?
I think that's it for me. That's like a big factor when you got something to watch every single night. Like that makes me feel good.
Is this better than? Now, obviously, the first couple of days of March Madness are an isolated thing, but are there other points in the calendar where you're like, "Ooh, that's good"? You'd put it up with where we're at right now.
I did a blog like 2 weeks ago ranking the months of the year.
I don't.
What, Ed?
Early hockey and early basketball does not much for me after the opener.
Right.
I'll be
same
honest.
That's
I'll
fine.
be very honest.
But you like a good opener.
Of course.
See, I think this. There's something to be said for having hope, and usually there's hope at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
So I like that element of hockey and basketball where things haven't turned to shit yet. You get baseball playoffs, and we said this on a show recently where maybe it wasn't on a show. Maybe it was just you and I talking, Carl. But it was like baseball is just a completely different game in the playoffs. And I like regular season baseball, but it's kind of more background noise. You can't really miss a pitch in the playoffs. Like everything matters. It's so intense. It's awesome. And then football is in like full swing. We're in the conference part of college football. The NFL, like you're starting to get like the playoff graphics start coming out like right now. And it's different. And the Bears have moved. The line has moved.
15?
12.5.
Oh, it's going down.
Big sharp money comes in here, guys.
What was your number 1 month?
March, followed by October.
That's crazy, Dave.
How?
You're hard on for March is inexplicable.
It's a lot of it is the St. Patrick's Day.
Does it still hit that hard for you at 32?
Yes.
And that's not being an
Yes.
asshole. I'm genuinely curious.
Yes.
'Cause
You got the
But
weather
then
turning for the better.
Spring training is
Spring
where he really
training.
gets horny.
I thought it
Baseball
was St.
starting.
Patrick's Day.
St. Patrick's Day is absolutely on there for that. I mean,
Is it a top 3 holiday for you?
I do love St. Patrick's Day. I love St. Patrick's Day.
Because I remember when we first started the job and we were like blogging full time for the first time ever, and there would just be a lot of these like January, February blogs in 2019 that'd be like 7 fucking weeks still. St.
I do. I
Patrick's
count
Day.
down, dude. I count down for sure.
Dave coming in the office, 26.
Dude, March.
fucking
How can you
days.
say March is not the best month?
See,
With March
I like
Madness
March.
and the weather's the biggest thing because you get those random 75-degree days.
You also have Carl's birthday, which you
That's
love.
true.
You
I
love
mean-
celebrating that.
I love celebrating birthdays.
Yeah. Well, I would say that the reason March kind of sucks is because you're ready for it to be warm at that point. Like you've been through December, January, February gets fucking nasty here, and then it just doesn't come. Like it just feels like as soon as it's March 1 in my head, it should be 50 degrees, and then that's just never the case. Like
It's
you
not
normally
that-
have like one more big nasty snowstorm. You're cold. You're still in your winter jacket, and you're just fucking miserable. That's
But
why
the
you
gleam
need like
is
a.
there. The gleam is there.
Are you trying to steal this word from me the way you stole the band list?
I didn't steal a band list. I
There
made it better.
Isn't I
did
feel
not.
like IHSA baseball starts on like March 11th,
It does.
and you'd be
the
out there
first,
and it's like 30
it's
fucking
the
2
worst.
degrees, and it's like yeah,
Yeah.
whatever, dude. Just deal with this shit.
You get fucking jammed,
Those-
and your hands are just stinging for the next 12 hours.
Do you have a month you hate? February doesn't count, Ed.
February was my last month. January was next,
January
then
blows.
April after that.
Really?
January
November
blows.
after
You don't
that.
like the bowl games, the NFL playoffs, the resolutions?
I like that, but you get
There are some days in January where you're like, fuck.
you get like what's that, like 6 good days, right?
Out of the whole month, and the
Yeah.
rest is just
Yeah, it's dark.
I don't
It's-
even know if you get.
you don't
six.
see
Yeah, I don't
sunlight.
even know if you get 6.
No, yeah, you're right. I mean, the NFL playoffs though, when
That's
they go
it.
Saturday, Sundays.
Yeah, that's
Those
nice.
are nice.
I like
those
that.
are really.
Wild card weekend's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, wild card weekend's great, but that's one fucking weekend.
I like the divisional. The divisional round's great too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like that they. I don't know.
It's-
Should be more.
Football
Saturday.
playoffs are great.
Saturday. Now they're doing that Monday night game, which I do kind of like. They're
Are
doing
they
one
doing
Monday night playoff game this year.
Oh,
I
yeah.
kind of
Come
like that too.
on.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Is that an?
It's kind of a big disadvantage.
I was gonna say, is it an advantage or disadvantage?
I don't know.
Well,
I think most
if you
pro
got this-
teams don't start actually practicing until like Wednesdays anymore. So,
No, they show up on Monday. It's
yeah, you
like
do film work and shit, but like I don't think it's like it used to be. I could be wrong there. Get someone off the phone.
when in doubt, I would take the extra day of rest.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
as a fan-
Nevertheless,
What is?
October's the number 2 month of the year. Great. MLB playoffs, like Chief said, unmatched. I
Pumpkin
love it.
patches, apple picking, all
The
that. all
weather's
good
the
stuff.
weather's been awesome this October. It hasn't gotten too cold. Like there's been was it like 3-4 years ago we had a snowstorm on Halloween?
Yeah, the weather's been crazy so far.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
I can't
It's
believe it's
beautiful
so
weather.
nice. Can't believe
You
it.
know what that it just means? It's gonna be Dave's gonna come to St. Patrick's Day. There's gonna be a foot of snow. outside.
Yeah.
I
oh,
just
yeah.
was perusing around the internets for blog material, and I guess we have a El Nino year coming
What's
up.
that? What's that mean?
Warm winter, which I will take all fucking day.
all day.
That's
day.
so funny. You bring up the that first year, 2019. We had a lot. I feel like we had more checkups certainly than we do now. And they would be like, "Oh, how's it going?" And White Sox, Dave, just wait till March. It's
know
going
what
to
you're
be
even
bombs
talking about.
away on the White Sox. That was a big moment. I remember that.
You delivered.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't remember when it was like, oh, we were doing 3 blogs a day, and it was like, oh, fuck, like we're running out of topics. And you're like, oh, fuck, I just can't wait to blog about the team.
Oh yeah, well
That's
yeah,
what I mean.
for sure.
7 weeks until baseball, as Carl's was saying.
Okay, fair.
Fair.
Let's see. Good weather aside, obviously. I mean, Bulls home opener,
5-point favorites.
or not home opener, but playing the
Opener.
Pistons.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
playing in Detroit. 5-point favorites. We got a nice little odds boost for you guys. Who is it?
It doesn't matter, Dave. This is airing after the game.
No, that's true.
So. But we'll
damn it.
have, I guess, the odds boosts that
Yes.
were out for opening
Yes.
night will be out throughout the duration of the season. Sincerely.
Yes, that is exactly what I was trying to say, actually. When throughout the bowl season, we will be having boosts for them, the Hawks, all that good stuff. So make sure you head out to the beautiful Aurora Hollywood Casino. Register for the sports book.
Yo, how about that drama with the little promo with the Briggs thing? Yeah, that was...
Did you guys know anything about that?
I didn't know anything. And then I started getting text messages being like, hey, what are we doing in Aurora? Like a couple of my buddies that, go out to Aurora and like go play the tables and all that shit are like, yo, let's go out. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I had no idea.
They're like, you and Lance Briggs.
I got DMs about it. I'm like, I'm literally hearing this from you. So thanks for letting me know. I don't think I'm going to be there, but if you do go, enjoy.
Yeah.
Is that where he took the picture where he avoided the Green Bay Packers fan?
Yes.
Yeah.
Which was kind of like...
Which I loved.
Yeah, that was like a bigger moment.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's good content.
No, that was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Lance Briggs in the limelight.
Yeah. I guess in other news related to the four of us, you might have seen this on Wednesday night. We broadcasted, I think, like our first actual rundown from the Chicago office. But we haven't actually recorded that yet.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be great. Or it was great.
Yeah, it was great. It was fucking awesome.
Yeah, Dave.
And I was especially hilarious.
Look forward and back on
Dave.
the future.
You were hilarious on that rundown.
When am I not?
Yeah.
When am I not? I'm sure the Stoolies will fucking love it.
Yeah, good.
All right.
Do you want to start a Viva chant, Chief?
Not particularly, no.
Why not?
I don't think I've ever started a Viva chant in my entire
You
life.
did on Twitter the other day.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
Immediate just anger right there.
What?
I was with Nick Terani
Look
a
at
couple
Davey
weeks ago.
Yak trying to shit on Chief.
I
Look
know.
At, he's like, he's
I know.
cool Yak guy.
Yeah, I know. Those
are
are the be with the Brandon Walker too cool for school guys if you want. I like when I'm walking the dog and people are walking the other way and they're just like, hey, what's up, Viva? I like that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
nice.
I know. No, I know. Here we got White Sox Dave too cool for school.
I'm not too
He's
cool for school.
Brandon Walker Dave
think
over
it's
here.
hilarious.
Brandon Walker.
It was just, I'm not saying that. I'm saying them replying to you with Viva in all caps was objectively funny. And I laughed at it.
I see like
for the record, I have seen you multiple times at bars in front of hundreds of people start Viva chants.
that is not true. You're such a fucking liar. This is like you're getting into the Eddie school where you just say slanderous things.
That is Eddie's school. I do make mental notes of his slanderous abilities.
Yeah, if liking Viva is wrong, then I
Mental
guess
notes
I'm
of
wrong.
vanish.
I like that interaction.
No, it's a good interaction. It's not as good as fuck John Cusack's though, right, Ed?
Yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed Mike Squires.
Or
We have
Fires.
another interview coming up later in the show with Jeff Brohm, head coach, University of Purdue, or Purdue University.
You think he liked us?
I think at the end he did.
Yeah.
You could tell at the beginning the interview's like,
Who the fuck-
I'll
Yeah.
do it because I have to.
I think he
my
loved Big
guys-
Ten, Dave.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he got into it.
Yeah.
And I think once we started fishing on Kyle Horton, he realized we're just absolute psychopaths. We're going to get to that interview in a second. But first, I think it'd be important if we could talk to you guys about our good friends from...
Manscaped?
Ooh, yeah.
You want to talk about Manscaped? I'll tell you everything you need
Fuck
to know
yeah.
about
Give me them
Manscaped.
Do it,
hardwood
Dave.
floors, baby.
Oh, ow. Oh, my God. Fuck. That's what comes to your mind when you're using a traditional razor or other competition's product
What?
when you're trimming around your nutsack.
Okay.
You see what I'm getting at? You're like, oh, fuck, I just nicked my balls.
Yeah. I
Like,
gotcha.
you know, the guy from The Longest Yard, he's like, oh, my balls.
Yeah,
Like, that's
I've
what
nicked
you-
my balls plenty of times.
Yeah, it's
in the
not a good
pursuit
feeling.
of-
Just like,
Well, I think forever I was,
It's on
if
a
you had
razor's
an
edge.
electric razor, the three, like the,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then they have
yeah.
the flip up trimmer from that. Like I would flip up. I would get like an electric razor, but then not use the electric razor for my face. I would just use the flip up option.
Gotcha.
And that's just constantly nicking your sack.
Can we?
it's the worst.
Yeah. Let's
But-
let Dave go here.
But
I'm proud of him.
the best way to do this, and there's a safe way to clean and make your shaft all shiny and silky smooth, and that's to just go to Manscaped. So go to manscaped.com, manscaped.com, And with the promo code REDLINE in all caps, you get 20% off your order and free shipping. That's outstanding. And let me tell you, it's like my nutsack it's George Costanza's bald head right now. Just as clean and clear as can be. I think that's our second Costanza drop of the day.
Yep.
You can go there. You can get the weed
done
whacker,
without that one personally,
the nose and ear trimmer that is designed to whack your weeds and any goblins that come your way. Both the lawnmower and the weed whacker are waterproof, so you could use them in the shower. That's where I actually do all my shavings, in the shower, because you get the like steam opens your pores. I don't do it in front of the mirror. I just touch and go. And speaking with your best friends, don't forget you get to give your testes besties the love they deserve with Manscaped's liquid formulations. First is the crop preserver ball deodorant. You put deodorant under your armpits. Why not put deodorant on your balls, Chief?
Something people should do.
Are you happy?
Yeah.
Can you read the promo code real quick here?
Yeah,
Dave?
so get 20% off and free shipping with the code REDLINE at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com with the code REDLINE. Stiff arm your pubes out of the playoffs with Manscaped.
This was a historic day of Redline Radio.
Why?
In 3 years, White Sox Dave took out the garbage without being asked to.
I always take out the garbage without being asked to.
No, when Carl brought it up, you had the ad read pulled up, and you were like, good to go. I was like, that was great.
What happened?
How did you find it in your email?
Yeah.
Sometimes I can just find it. Sometimes I can't. I type in the same thing every week. Sometimes it pops up. Sometimes it doesn't.
That was historic. It was
That might be a
brought up
user
shaving your
error,
balls, and he just like took the hand off, and he had it all pulled up.
Do you like that, Ed?
I did.
Tell the people how much you like it one more time.
I love it.
You proud of him?
Love it?
I'm proud of you.
Will you
Like
shave your ball? Will you get a nice trim for Halloween?
Do you think that's a little patronizing?
That is a little patronizing.
Yeah, it's a little patronizing.
A little bit.
Why is it patronizing? Well, fuck yeah, it's patronizing.
Yeah, right.
Fuck yeah, it is.
Okay, Ed, this is what we're going to do. Me and you, we're going to go get the weed whacker and the lawnmower 4000.
Shave each other's balls.
And we're going to shave each other's balls.
All right, I'm in.
Okay?
All right.
I mean, I got nothing to shave because I just used it.
All right,
but,
man.
I mean, I'm sure you got a fucking...
Sure.
The Amazon rainforest growing down there.
Sure. Good luck. You offered.
You
Ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Are you gonna wear like a hazmat suit or like?
Yeah.
How do you guys prepare for shaving each other's balls? What does that look like?
Yeah. I mean, with Ed, you got to go hazmat, right? There's
See,
probably
but the
some
thing is, yeah.
You need a.
But even if you shaved yours today, Dave, the way your hair grows, it's fucking already.
Have
You guys are both going to need to bring like a shop vac to clean up.
Dude, could we shave William Williams' balls for like a
That
fundraiser
shit,
or something?
No, we can't shave William Williams' balls for a fundraiser. That'd be weird. That'd be very, very weird. He will never make it on this show or Ed's show or any other show.
Why?
What if he
Because-
doesn't speak though? Well, he doesn't necessarily have to talk for this.
No, he doesn't get to be in any content ever.
We'll throw in a $50 gift card to Hooters, the one off Butterfield. Nice one.
Is that still
That is our home base Hooters.
I know that's your
Still
home
there?
base Hooters, dude.
I'd assume so.
I know. What is that? Exit 119?
I would get off at Myers probably
Oh boy.
Our coach got in
if I was
trouble
coming from the city.
when I was like 16. Our hockey coach was like, "Hey, end of the year, you guys can go wherever you want. Like, I'm taking the team out to dinner." And we were like horny 16-year-olds. We picked that Hooters, and he got like fired for that.
That was like our post game.
Really?
That was like our team. We would go to Hooters all the time.
That's disappointing.
Yeah, people got soft.
Fucking Hooters. Speaking of Hooters,
We went to Los Angeles.
I guess the
spot.
Hooters waitresses are all pissed off because they got to wear skimpier clothing now. That's kind of fucking...
They have to wear shorter shorts, Dave. Let's
Yeah, I thought they
okay,
eat the shorts they have to wear now eat more of the butt, right?
I guess.
Yes.
They like ride up the
I believe
yeah.
so. I didn't look completely into it.
And that's because there's a big like butt boom. You know, we've had a huge butt boom over the last
that's
couple
what
of years.
I heard. I didn't realize
huge butt
that.
boom. Where like girls are like really into like their fitness motivation. Where before I'd be like, it's I'm
Gains.
just from my own
Yeah.
30,000 fucking
I didn't know
view.
that.
Butts are so hot right now.
It's like in the mid-90s.
Like someone-
Have you ever watched American Gladiators reruns?
Yeah.
They have the most fucking over the top fake tits of all time.
I mean, that's Baywatch. That was the whole 90s.
Yeah, there was the 90s thing, right?
Yeah.
I hate calling them fake. I'd rather call them enhanced or something. Because when you say they're fake, that suggests they're not real.
Yeah,
and as long as I can touch them, they're as real as it gets.
I agree.
I disagree. I prefer natural tits.
Well, yeah.
that's
I mean,
yeah.
I would love a perfect set of.
Yeah.
That doesn't go against his
tits.
point, though.
Sure it does. Yeah, it does. They're not all the same. They're not all created equal.
I didn't say that. I'm saying it like people.
So
that
they're real to you. They're not real to me.
They're not.
They're there, but they're not.
You can
as
touch
real.
them. They're not real.
But you know the definition that you're using. You shouldn't use that word. They're not real. They're not real.
Those are. It's real.
It's like
happening.
it's
I'm
a
looking at them, I'm
concrete
touching
object
them, like,
is what he's
this
getting
a
at.
real
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, but
So
You mean natural?
yeah, I'd rather have small natural.
The
than-
natural
Yeah.
is the word here.
Yeah, I like the natural.
Real doesn't apply. Oh, these are real tits. Oh, these are fake tits. It's like they're both tits. Enhanced. These are enhanced, augmented.
Augmented.
Yeah, augmented's a fair way. Let's
But when you talk about
meet in the middle
Yeah.
and just call them augmented. Yeah, that is breast augmentation. There you
yeah,
go. It's
but
already
when
a
you
thing.
have an augmented reality, what does that mean?
No, that's different. Though. That's
Distorted?
reality.
That's what I'm saying.
That's a
It's still
a concept, not a physical thing.
I'm with you, Dave. Eddie, you got a preference?
She just hates fake tits.
Not a fan.
No, I think women are beautiful.
Middleman Ed over here. Always playing both sides of the fence.
Reddit Dave over here.
I was trying to look for something to blog today, and I actually stumbled on it.
What's wrong with Reddit?
Well, I was just saying that's Dave calling you the Viva guy. And I'm
Oh,
saying
that, I mean,
he's calling
he's
you
just
middleman.
he's just his
What does
yak
that mean?
guys.
Yeah. I'm friends with
Can you
Nick.
come forward
Friends
with more of a
KB.
direct accusation, Ed?
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Can you give me a comment on?
I think that
K Marco gate.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can give me a comment.
Yeah, I can give you a comment on that.
Oh,
Did you watch it? I actually
yeah.
did.
I did too.
There are points where you're watching it and you're like, man, if I don't know this guy, I feel terrible. Like this guy, he looked so beaten and defeated.
Oh, yeah,
like
he
he had
did.
no. And I do think blogging and putting yourself in content, like you do have to feel good about yourself to do that. You have to like be in a good state of mind to like move the ball downfield and stuff. And I think there are times when you're in a funk and stuff, it's like really hard. Not really hard, but it's significantly more difficult. And he had the funk written all over his face. I don't know if Dave kind of like got how it seemed like Dave was becoming more aware as the conversation went along, just how broken he just seemed so broken. That said, we were on the receiving end, and he like dressed up the Chicago stuff as like, oh, I got back to him 1 day later. I was like, no, you didn't. It took several emails from me, took 2 or 3 emails from me, took a couple days, and then you were a blatant asshole. Like you can't hide behind being a blatant asshole. It's calling sarcasm. That's like an old move when you're like a teenager and you're like, I'm just being sarcastic. It's like, no, you're being a fuck. That's what you're being. You're being a fuck. So I was conflicted because I have that shitty personal experience. And the other thing is, from our perspective, the blog relationship's gotten so much better with the guys that are in charge of the blog.
Oh, yeah.
I would agree.
So, end of the day, our jobs have been made. It's just easier to talk to people. I was talking to Coley about a blog during the middle of the Patriots game on Sunday, and he was like all over it.
Yeah, I would say that like professionally, I'm happy with it, but it's hard as like a person to look at somebody who looks like that. I've also never seen a funk last a year, like you're saying. Like, you know, like that's a long funk.
Yeah, it's a long funk.
Yeah, so
It's tough to watch.
Yeah.
That was tough to watch, Ed. There's my overarching thing. That was tough to watch.
I agree.
But
it was tough to be in it. I didn't know what to say.
Yeah.
And like a lot of people are.
He did not like your
Well,
Ben
it wasn't.
Simmons
It was
comment.
more meant to be like Ben Simmons is the topical name.
For
Plug
sure.
in example A of a disgruntled player. Like he's clearly disgruntled. Like he's not
Yeah.
happy. That's my point. It had nothing to do with like.
Yeah, it was the most relevant thing off
Yes,
the top of your head.
exactly.
Because you were probably sitting there
Yes.
thinking of like, who's a disgruntled athlete?
Yes,
that kind
plug
of
in
like
Adam
goes where-
LaRoche. Plug in fucking Sammy Sosa. Plug in whoever. It was just who was on the top of my brain because he's relevant.
Right. I think it's a fair comment. It was just very clear that he was like, did not like the comment.
I wasn't. It was just intended to make a. relevant comparison. It wasn't supposed to be disrespectful, truly.
Is that the sweet spot for you in the Dave Portnoy show?
What?
If you look at the show and you're like, all right, what's a good Dave Portnoy show? Would you rather have like a good internal interview, kind of like dive in with somebody from Barstool, or do you think it's like, do you like having like the Jay Cutlers of the world, or like what?
No, of course, internal is the way to go for sure.
Those are tough, though.
Absolutely.
Those
Internal?
can be tough.
Oh,
yeah.
it's so hard.
Yeah.
I mean, I've learned to realize that you can't win. Like,
Yeah.
I'll never be able to win. It's either I'm sucking Dave's dick or I'm throwing people under the bus.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's no way to win.
Well, you do throw people under the bus, like habitually.
When do I know you're fucking around, but like people think you're serious.
Yeah,
So
I
that's
don't
why
know.
I'm just
Yeah,
not
you know,
gonna-
it doesn't throw him under the bus. He like parks the bus on a hill
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then
yeah.
puts it in neutral and lets it.
But
and
that's
be like,
what I mean.
I was,
That's the best
So it's like,
way
do
to
you-
put it. Yeah.
where do you want me to stand? It's like, you know, you got to pick one.
yeah,
It's impossible.
it's impossible.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, you. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. You know, it's just it's an impossible show to host at this
Yeah.
point.
Mhm.
Like people
Oh.
are just like,
Do you enjoy it?
yeah. I mean, I think like it's weird because it's gotten a lot bigger. Like it's grown a lot, and so
You guys had like a premiere event last.
Yeah,
Like, is that
so-
how you guys do the shows now online?
I guess so. They just did that one. I have no idea what the future is of it. But like it's the same thing. Like in the interviews, like to me, it's like people want to talk to Dave. Like it's all centered around him. And people get mad when I ask him about his fucking weekends and shit. It's like, dude, that's what people like. This is about his life.
Yeah,
Like, what do you want me to say? Do you
it's a
not
Dave
want
Portnoy show.
Yeah. Do you not want to address how
That
he
he
hung
can
out
come.
with fucking who's the Twitter guy, Jack Dorsey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean? Like people want to know that. Like,
Yeah.
it's literally named after him. You know, but it's like it's just a fine line. Like it's either you're sucking his dick or you're throwing people under the bus. Like that's just really the way it is. So
I think it's a good show. I
It is what it
I
is.
don't consume a lot of podcasts anymore. I watched that one, and I watched that one live last night when it dropped.
yeah,
So I muted the Hawks game and put that on.
yeah. I mean, it was interesting because I didn't know how to attack that. The guy's fucking. He's been here for so long. I'm like all of us like. Say Viva, you wanted him, Dave. Oh, but like we all fucking grew up on the fucking
Yeah.
site, and like K Marco is a big part of it, and like I think we all respected his blogs and like what he's done for the company.
He was a great
Yeah,
blogger.
so it's
Yeah.
like, you know, that's like 10 years. That's like family feuds. Like
Right.
like, you know, I don't know if there's a perfect way to attack that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so like it was never addressed, and then it just came up yesterday. It's like, all right, well, do you want to do this? And he's like, sure, let's do it. And then,
Yeah.
Did you, when you see the way Dave, in like Dave was kind of, what's the word? He was so.
And it's also got to the point where, like people, you know, you have to look out for the company as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like for instance, like that streaming dude, like what's Benedict Merckx was his name. He had that deal with us,
Yeah.
and like it didn't work out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Dave said as much. It didn't work out. And like I know Dave's probably not happy about that. I know I could keep pushing buttons and could actually unload on him. But is it smart for us to go at the top streamer in the world
Yeah.
right now?
No.
How
Yeah.
big that was? Is it smart for me to do that
He's
in
got
the long
a
run?
monster
Like
following.
exactly, he's a monster. He's a monster.
monster.
That guy. Like that's my
Monster.
point. It's like, should I sit there and really just goad Dave to do that? Like, because
you
he'll
get
do
it
it.
too.
He'll
Yeah,
do
oh,
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
But like at some point, it's like there's fucking over 300 employees at this company. Like
Right.
people need to eat. Like
Yeah.
I'm not gonna fucking jeopardize that. So it's frustrating that
You can
aspect.
pick
I
and
don't know.
choose those
Ed, I
situations, though.
feel like you said at the top of this, like the show's grown so much. It's because it's a good show. So like I think the people who comment, you know, are inherently, it's all like Yelp. You know, like there are people who comment are inherently just more negative people.
Right.
And
Yeah.
like human instinct is to, you know, notice the negatives more, I think. So I think the show is good. I wouldn't, you know, like
Yeah,
I
it is what it
wouldn't
is.
lament
It's not
too
like
much
I feel
over
like this is
it.
turning like a venting
No,
session.
no,
That's
no,
not
no,
what
no,
I
no,
want.
no, no,
That's
no. I
not
think
what
it's
wanted
interesting.
or
I don't know
felt
if
like
people.
answer.
This might be the first. This is like a peek behind the scenes or something. Obviously, we're coming off of like a huge Dave Portnoy show. You host the show. There is some tie into us with the with the conflict with K Marco. Certainly on a much smaller scale than the other stuff that they talked about. But I mean, this is I'm interested.
Yeah.
I'm interested in hearing your perspective on this stuff. And the other thing is, I don't think the people that would comment negatively have an idea of like how much of a you really put a lot of intent into this, and it's very thoughtful, and you're not flying by the seat of your pants. You do like the way you just explained. Here's why I don't talk about Nick Marks. Like, I don't think people understand that. Like, it's that thought. Like, you come to a show like that thought out, and that's what it demands because it's with Dave.
Oh yeah, like I mean, I've done shows with you guys for over 2 years. You know, I think about this shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I prepare.
Now, I want your take on the, because K. Marco was like, I don't hate you.
Yeah.
Dave's like, I think he hates me. Even after the interview wrapped, I think he hates me. What's your take on that? And like, do you think that relationship gets repaired, or do you think it's just toast? Because he also kind of made it seem like, yeah, you can fire me.
Obviously, I don't know, but I don't think he hates him. I think he's supremely disappointed that Dave never sought him out, and Dave should have sought him out.
Yeah,
like he should have said.
See, at the same time, you know how Dave works though. Like,
true,
especially something like Dave said, like he's one of the tenured guys. Like, he can kind of do what he wants and get away with it, which isn't the case for anybody else at the company outside probably Kevin and Dan. And you got to know that that's coming anyways.
It's also, I think, hard to judge without actually being on that call that Dave kept referencing, where it's like, I thought I made it pretty clear on the call when he was like screaming at him about the Trista thing. Allegedly. So if he, like K. Marco says he thought he was going to be suspended. I don't think anyone's ever been suspended. But I don't know. It's hard to know. Like, it's hard to come to an agreement on that. But yeah, maybe even after that phone call, he should have said like, hey, like, you're out. Finding out from
and I mean, Davis self-admitted he's not a good manager, and he's not.
Yeah.
I'll say it. Like, what do you want me to say?
He's not wired to think that much about other people or put himself in the position to be like, all right, well, how do I manage this with K. Marco?
But it's also, K. Marco is also not a good manager.
Right.
And he was in a managerial role.
Yeah,
so it's like, can he really criticize Dave for not being a good manager while he was not managing?
That's a great point. Because, like, back to our conflict with him, it was bred at the start of it. Like, we all kind of had issues with them that went unsaid. But, like, it started because he wasn't communicating with someone he thought was kind of underneath him, I guess, right? With you, when he didn't get back to you on emails.
Yeah.
Because he thought they were stupid questions or whatever he said.
And I was asking,
I
was asking on behalf of Dante because there was an issue with Grubhub where they were doing stuff with their fees, and it was, like, blowing up in Chicago.
Yeah, I remember
now. But Grubhub had just bought out, I don't know if it was like Friday Night Pints or it was
something.
Like they had something that was, no, it wasn't Friday Night Pints, but they had something like that they had put their name on at a big level with Barstool.
Yeah.
And so Dante was like, hey, this is a good story. We should have this up on the blog. They're fucking some restaurants in Chicago. This is like right in the middle of like us settling into the pandemic. And so this was like a big story because of all the food, you're getting fucked.
Yeah.
Whatever. I told Dante, I said, I don't know. So he emails me again. He's like, come on, dude, what do you think? Like, you know, it was like a back-to-back thing, which we know Dante is a good blogger. He's an aggressive guy. He's got a good feel for, like, putting good stories out there. And this certainly would have been a huge fucking story. It was just like, I don't know. I'll ask Keith because I know they just sponsored something. So that's how it all started. So it was like, hey, what do you think? There's, you know, this is going on in Chicago. I know they're a sponsor. And then I followed up with them 24 hours later, 48 hours later, and was like, hey, checking in again on this. And that's when I got.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's tough. I mean.
That's a very good point, Chief.
Thank you.
That was a very good point.
Mm-hmm. Very good show. How does something like that, how is it received compared to like a Jay Cutler or Patty the Batty?
Oh, I mean, people love that shit more. If it were up to me, I would do just all that shit. I don't think the show like needs interviews, but then he got mad at me for one, and I understand. Like, I'm not gonna argue. Like, if that's, I mean, I could tell him how I feel, but
mad about what? You wanted an interview, or you didn't want an interview?
He wants interviews. That's the point. But like, he doesn't like to talk to people, which I've addressed with him. Like, and that's what the other thing. Like, I don't think people realize. Like, you guys realize how like difficult it can be to just have a conversation with Dave.
Yeah, like that's why when I'm around him, I'm just like, hey, do you want to go have beers? And he's just like, no, shut up. Or you try to find something to like just kind of, I don't know.
I love the guy. I truly do. But it's just true. And they'll tell you that. He's just not a chat kind of small talk kind of guy. And it's like you put yourself in a cage match, like for instance, a cage match with him and Jay Cutler, two not the most peachy guys. It's hard.
You're pulling teeth.
It's hard, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, to me, I would do way more of that kind of stuff then. But that's how shows grow. Like we know, like I think if it were up to us, we would just chop it up and do this type of shit all the time too. But guests like Jeff Brohm are going to have people from Purdue and people from Indiana listen to our show. Maybe they like us. Maybe they look. You know what I mean?
Stick around.
That's the point. That's how shows grow. So
that was just an unbelievable transition too.
That was
the way
job,
you're
man.
teeing us up for Jeff Brohm later in the show and just pulling the audience along here.
But you know what I mean? Like that's how you grow. But
yeah, if the four of us could just sit around and talk about stuff like months and wedding etiquette, and we did that every day, like we did with Chicago Radio Hour, like
totally.
I think that's.
I think it'd be good.
Did we just shoot our rundown load? I feel like that would have been great for the rundown too.
No, I think we're primed for the rundown.
Yeah,
we actually are running a little bit longer than we anticipated on the show, but I would never turn down that insight about the show.
Even though we patted ourselves on the back for having a great rundown, now I kind of agree with Ed. Maybe we.
You think we're gonna have a bad rundown?
No, I do. I think that like the K Marco, because I was thinking like, oh, what are we going to talk about? We definitely should be talking about K Marco on the rundown, and now we just did 20 minutes on it.
Yeah, so that's like we hit the range. We went out, we hit a couple drives, and hit some cuts. Yeah. Not everything's a fucking live exercise here, guys. I'm
going to try to make that point again on the rundown. Hopefully,
don't fucking put pressure on yourself. Chief's out
here.
Let
her
fly, Chief. Writing note cards and getting all serious and shit.
Yeah, and that's like I said. This was not intended to even talk about this today. This just happened organically.
Yep.
I'm not complaining, people. Like, please
not
don't
at
take
all.
that as complaining. I was asked questions and I answered.
No, we just. But to the same point, I don't think we want to put out this image that like, we're over here. This is the post-Dave Portnoy show where Eddie.
Yeah.
Eddie gets how he really feels off his chest.
Well, that's Dave's idea.
That was me and Smitty's idea because that was at the point where
Can you imagine? That'd be so funny.
Because I mean, there was a hot minute when I was Portnoy's favorite punching bag, and Smitty has always been perpetually Portnoy's punching bag.
He's the heavy bag. You're the speed bag.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We're in the same gym though, but we thought it would have been funny to do that, but we also didn't think that Dave would
find it funny.
Yeah. Even though I think a lot of other people would.
Yeah. Anyways,
we should do that actually.
Speaking of Portnoy, he's worth a lot of money, right?
Yeah.
You think he uses Wealthfront?
He might.
He should.
He should.
Yeah.
Yep.
After answering just a couple questions, Wealthfront will build you a diversified portfolio of low-cost index funds in minutes. All right, let me just take a step back for a second before we do this ad read. There is a point that you get to when you have enough money in your checking account, and you're like, probably shouldn't have this in my checking account. I feel like you get to this point where you're like, or what am I doing with my shit? And then maybe you have a couple peers, and it's like, oh, Joey fucking buys apartment buildings with his uncle. Then you got another guy who's like started a t-shirt company on the side. Like you'll get as a peer in dealing with finances, like it can be very confusing about where to invest your money and manage your shit. And I know a lot of our audience is climbing towards that point where like, hey, we're getting promotions. I got a bonus. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. And this is where a product like Wealthfront really fucking comes in because it can help you get to that next step of financial management.
It's a socially responsible portfolio, a mix of funds built around human rights, climate change, sustainability, and diversity. And Ed, I know you're all about that stuff. Best of all, Wealthfront is just totally automated. They do all the trading, all the rebalancing, and they even help lower your tax bill while you invest. And that's huge to me as an investor.
$27 billion in assets.
I was just going to say that huge pot there. Like you said, $27 billion. And if you get your first $5,000 managed by Wealthfront for free. So if you go to wealthfront.com/redline, that's how you get that $5,000 managed for free. So check it out. Carl made great points there. Like, if you're starting to make a little bit of money, you don't just want it sitting there. It's a waste. So put it to work. Right, Dave? And that was one of your old sayings. You're going to make your money work for you.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
So now Wealthfront is making your money work for you.
It's the best.
Like when you sold all those T-shirts at 50% mark off.
Well, I mean,
We
that
ended
was
up
a
taking
learning
We
experience.
ended up taking a $3 loss per shirt before shipping.
Yeah. I mean, it was a learning experience.
I'll never-
I was just thinking about that.
I'll
one.
always love you for that.
You also
I
don't-
mean, I had boxes of
you
shirts
didn't
just
want to
sitting
be
in my
you don't want to
apartment.
be carrying overhead either. So
Yeah,
That's a good
guys,
point.
Exactly it.
So
It's a good point.
Yeah.
Wealthfront.
Yeah.
How do you get to Wealthfront?
wealthfront.com/redline.
All right.
All right.
I'm going to be all over this Wealthfront stuff.
Yep.
Speaking of Wealthfront, Jeff Brohm is a multi-millionaire, still drives a 2004 Honda Accord. Talk about that.
Beautiful.
You talk about stacking fucking cash at home.
Yeah.
That guy's doing it.
Beautiful.
I like, because I'm kind of that way. Like, I don't really care about anything. And it seems like Brohm is just singularly focused. Like, what does he need a nice car for? He needs a car to get to practice in the facility and back home. And that's what he's got. So I love that about him. I don't know why. Maybe I just like Joe Tiller's mustache. I've always had like a soft spot for Purdue. I hope he gets him going. And they're going a little
I hope
bit
so
this year.
too. I mean, it looked like they were going to. It looked like they broke a barrier. Then they kind of like took steps back.
When they
So,
absolutely fucking shit all over Ohio State
yeah.
a
Yeah.
couple years ago. They looked like they were about to turn that corner. Not quite yet, but they just got a nice win against number 2 Iowa.
I would say they shit all over Iowa.
Probably weren't the second best team in the country. They definitely weren't, but still a great win.
Big win.
Great
Yeah.
win.
Great
at
win.
Iowa.
Great conversation. He's going to talk a little bit about the Iowa and what it means to the program, how they take it to the next level, and exactly where does Kyle Orton stand with the Purdue Football Alumni Association.
Or with the planet Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get into it. Here's Jeff Brohm.
Whoosh.
We're in the interview portion of today's show. We are joined by Coach Brohm for Purdue, coming off, honestly, the biggest win in program history. Maybe, I don't know. Where does this rank for you guys beating Iowa at Iowa?
Well, it was a big win, and anytime you go on the road, beat a team ranked number 2, and not only win, but win fairly convincingly, on that fortunate day for us, it was a huge win. So we're definitely proud, of the outcome. Our guys really played at a high level. We came ready to play. We had great preparation, and they delivered. So it was great to see, and I'm very proud of our players and our assistant coaches because this was a really hot team that we played. That was playing at a high level and getting turnovers and dominating teams, and to go into their place and pull this victory off was huge for us.
How do you, you just got done with practice. Everybody's probably, you're riding high. How do you keep guys grounded? Are you throwing chairs around? You screaming at people? What's a Jeff Brohm practice look like after a win like that?
Well, we've been in this situation before and come back the next week and not won. And, your team just has to understand that really our mantra year round, no matter what's going on, is we call it a one-game season, and every week's a new week, and it doesn't really matter whether you won or lost the week before. You got to go win the next one. So that's kind of what we preach year round. So really it's not as hard to get it into their system. But at the same time, they're walking around and patting themselves on the back. Their buddies patting them on the back, their schoolmate, their parents, everyone's patting them on the back. And the most natural thing is just relax a little bit, and you can't do that, not during the season. And you wish that those games were the last game of the year, or maybe you could, but really you can't. Time is too precious. In our conference, every team is a very good team. We're getting ready to play a team we haven't beaten close to 20 years, and they're really talented. They're big, they're strong, play great defense. They run the ball, control possessions. We're going to have our hands full, so we have to make sure we're ready to go. I told our guys just after practice today that Wisconsin's getting ready to bring in a whole bunch of cans of Whoop ASS. And they want to give it to you. And if you're not ready for it, you're going to go home really sad and disappointed, and we have to be ready to play.
What was the biggest difference going into Iowa that whole week and going into the game, the locker room before? Because I'm sure you noticed, the vibes and everything. What was apparent when you guys got there and then you won? Was there something that really stuck out to you?
Luckily for us, we've been able to play Iowa good every year, since I've been here. So I think our guys had confidence from that. We didn't play as well as we could have the week before and lost at home. So I think, when that loss lingers for 2 full weeks on a bye week, which is not a whole lot of fun, it kind of fuels the fire and it gets you to, pay attention to the small details and understand we got to be a little bit better at this, a bit better at that in order to go out and execute and get a win. And then really once it came down to game time, we talked about it. Really, we knew all the pressure was on them. We didn't have any pressure. We were the underdog. Their playoff hopes were riding on this game. They had to win this game. So we played loose and we played aggressive. And fortunately, we made plays and executed and took care of the ball and forced them into turnovers. And got a lead on them, which made them play the type of game they don't want to play. So just a lot of things went our way, and we took advantage of it.
So then, now that you guys cracked the top 25, talk a little bit about the Wisconsin team you're playing. By the way, their quarterback play stinks, so you can give them all the respect you want, but I'll just say it, their quarterback play absolutely stinks. What does this scene to you look like as you guys come home and you guys crack the doors on being top 25 coming off this Iowa win? Do you guys have recruits coming in for this? Are you guys really in this moment trying to capitalize off the momentum? I mean, I know it's week to week, but be honest with me, Coach.
Well, honestly, yes, we're proud to get in the top 25 because it hasn't happened here in so long. So that is an accomplishment. But at the same time, as you guys know, the rankings at the end of the year will matter. Where you're ranked in the beginning or during, really, it's how you finish. And we got a lot of season left to play. And we still got to beat some big teams just to qualify for a bowl game. And, playing Wisconsin at home, you know what? Your comment may or may not be accurate, but they have great defense.
Yep.
They have every year. Their defensive coordinator, the Green Bay Packers, tried to hire him. He said no. I mean, they play at a high level. They challenge routes. They're aggressive. They blitz from all over. They have simulated blitzes. They're really athletic, and they do a lot of really good things. So you go to offense, and guess what? They're big. They're physical. They run the ball. They control the clock. And guess what? If they're in the lead and the game's close, they're going to be tough to beat. So in order for us to have a chance, we have to figure out a way to hit a few big plays, get a lead early, and then maybe take them out of what their strengths are. If we don't do that, then we're going to be in for a dogfight, and we're going to have to battle and scrap just to hang in there until the fourth quarter and see what we can do.
Now to Carl, this is Carl over here. To his point, are you using this game as a recruiting tool? Are you bringing back the alumni to show people, like, is Kyle Orton going to be in town this week? Have you reached Drew Brees, anybody like that? Have you reached out to those guys to, like, reinforce, like, what Purdue means to them and what it could mean to students coming in?
Well, we this is going to be a big weekend for guys to come in, that aren't committed even before the last win, because we were playing a really good team in Wisconsin. The game was sold out even before the Iowa win. We had an alumni day with the Roosevelt team a couple of weeks ago where the team came in and Drew Brees was there. Really, no, not anything special as far as we don't have any official visits. We don't have anything special planned other than we have going to get a big turnout of recruits that were already scheduled to come, which we normally have anyway. So really nothing special. For us during the grind of a season, we got to do some official visits. We will, but we like to save them for after the season. But I think we might have a couple unofficial visits set up of some key guys, but nothing really special.
Okay, so I just wanted to know if anybody knew where Kyle Orton was.
Honestly, if you had Orton back, if you got a line on Kyle Orton?
You know what? I've been around a lot of our guys. Drew Brees comes quite a bit. Jim Everett came this year and spoke to our team before the first game. Mark Herman works here for us as well. There's a lot of alumni that come through and come by. As far as have I seen and met Kyle Orton? No, I have not, but I'm looking forward to it if he ever makes it down.
Damn, us too. Like, I just feel like that guy just doesn't have real shoes, and I think that might be part of the problem. He just walks around in Birkenstocks. So I don't know. All right, that's what we wanted you here for, Coach. We wanted a Kyle Orton update, so appreciate that.
Oh shit!
Is it when you look at the schedule, and now it might be a way to keep your guys motivated. You got 2 more top 10 programs on the schedule. Is any part of you like, thank God I'm not Indiana's in the East and not us?
Yeah, I wish I had time to kind of think that way and have some fun with it. Unfortunately, man, if you don't, as a coach and player, if you don't just stay focused on what you're doing, you're going to get your tail beat. And we're, of course, not at anywhere near that capability to ever look beyond anyone. And, we're just got to be a hungry football team and grind away. And really that's kind of what Purdue stands for, is a bunch of hardworking blue-collar people that are wanting to play hard and go out and showcase that they're better than people think. And that's what we got to prove. I mean, yes, it's one game, but you followed up with a loss at home against Wisconsin, then you're back to being what other people call Purdue. You've got to continue to build on that and figure out ways to win, and if you want to be a true contender.
Mm-hmm. Now, we saw you guys, that first comment that you made about showing Purdue that what they are, what they work hard. I like Notre Dame and watch that game. I was like, man, Purdue's looking like they're on the right track. Were you happy to see Notre Dame back on the schedule after they have this ACC thing? Is that something that you kind of plan to flag on? Like, yeah, we got Notre Dame. This is a big week for us.
Actually, I was. That's a game with a lot of history and tradition. It's a top opponent, and it's great for our program. And I know that they're playing at a high level, and they've been tough to beat. And we played them tough. And to be quite honest, I didn't think I called a good game. We didn't play efficiently on offense. Our defense played at a high level. I'd love to play them again, but they won it and they deserve it. Teams like that, they just kind of know how to win. They know how to find a way to do the small things, and we did not get that done. But it was great to go up into their stadium and play a top opponent. In my opinion, when you schedule tough teams, like basically for us, we normally play 11 Power 5 teams a year, which not many teams do in the country. But to me, it helps in the long run. Maybe not your win-loss record, but it helps in the long run. Be battle-tested. Know that you faced a lot of good teams, learn from that, and hopefully utilize that to win some of those games against Big Ten competition that can, get you to a bowl game when it's all said and done is the goal.
Has it always been your philosophy to schedule a game like that, or are you always like, where did you get that from? Or you just always want to play the best? That's always been kind of the Jeff Brohm motto.
Well, I was fortunate enough to play for Howard Schnellenberger, and that kind of was his mantra there is to play the toughest schedule you can, and you're on a collision course with a national championship, and said a lot of outlandish things. But you know what? When you played for someone like that, even though he said those things to you guys and the people out there, it really got his team to believe, you know what, maybe we can be better than we really think we can. Maybe we can do this. And we were able to pull off some big victories just because our head coach was that confident and that he believed that we could take on the world at any point. And, really in the game of football, that's half the battle. If you can believe that you can get it done, then you're going to have a chance. But if you go into the game with some doubt, like, oh, geez, we don't have a chance. This team's really good. They're fast. They're physical. Then you might as well not show up. So, yes, we do want to play the best teams. And in my opinion, even in our conference, we're going to play the best teams. I mean, you guys see our schedule. I mean, we've got Iowa, Wisconsin, Michigan State, Ohio State. That's just some of them.
It's tough, yeah.
And, then a good non-conference with Notre Dame. And But that's football, and I think if you can win some of those games, man, it can really boost your program. It can do special things to kind of hopefully get you over the hump, and you can use that as momentum to continue to improve.
I'm a big Howard Schnellenberger fan. I think a lot of people who watched the 30 for 30 fell in love with him. He had that corncob pipe and that voice. Have you thought of having like a trademark thing, like a pipe or something, maybe a vape now that we're in 2021 that is like this is the thing, the Jeff Brohm like image? He's going to have a pipe or some kind of trademark?
Well, I really don't want to bring it up, but I guess I will since you said that. But a lot of people, make fun of me for my blue Honda Accord, so maybe that's maybe that's what I stand for.
I thought you were going to talk about the XFL clip. I mean, that's something.
Well, yeah. I guess I could have. You know what? I try not to relive that, but everywhere I go new, that's the first thing that comes up. And
I know.
And to be quite honest with you, when it comes to having fun playing the game of football, I played it for a long time, 30 years, or until I was 30 years old, and that was probably the most fun I ever had playing. I mean, you talk about an atmosphere that was crazy, that was wild, people, drinking drinks and having a good time and doing whatever they want in the stands that was unusual, and cheerleaders that would catch your eye. I mean, you had it all. So I had a blast playing. Really, for a quarterback, it wasn't as good because we all got paid the same. So you're like, oh, this isn't very good. I'm going to get killed, but I'm getting paid the same as guy on the bench. But at the same time, it made the team camaraderie better because no one got special attention. You got paid extra if you won, so there was incentive to win. There were some good things to it. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. And I know they tried it again a couple of years ago before the pandemic, and maybe they'll bring it back. But I do think the NFL does need a little farm system that if they can figure out how to get it going, it would help.
Yeah, be smart. And, that's what we talked about beforehand. We're like, we can't bring it up. People probably bring it up every interview for the first time, and we're like, you're probably so tired about answering that, right, or no?
Well, I'm used to it.
Yeah.
And you know what? Like I said, I'm used to it. And really, I wasn't playing for the camera. The story behind it was we were really good. Our team in the XFL, we were undefeated at the time, and I got knocked out of the game with a hit, and I came back the next week. I had a bunch of buddies coming into town, about 20 people, and I went to the doctor like on a Tuesday or Wednesday, said, hey, you can't play. The protocol says you got to sit out a week. And I kind of listened for a minute, and I just kind of looked at him. I said, well, Doc, I mean, as far as I know, this is the XFL. There are no rules. So I'm going to play. I got some buddies coming in. So, unless someone's going to stop me, I'm playing. He goes, well, I guess you're right. There's no rules. Okay. So anyway, so I played and actually had a good game. And but anyway, so I was being interviewed the night before, and I could tell the reporter, the ratings were starting to go down, and the interest was weaning a little bit. And I was answering her questions. I could tell she was very disinterested. I'm like, man, that's a good answer, but very disinterested. So finally, I gave this answer that was on the camera, and she goes, oh, that's really good. I like that one. I said, okay. So I was hoping that they would play that just to have a little fun. So I come out for pregame warm-ups, and Chris Raggy, who worked for NBC at the time, I think he may work in New York doing sports somewhere still. He came out and said, hey, we saw your quote is really good. So, okay, yeah, I liked it. He goes, you know what, we're gonna need you to say that live when we go on the air for the game. I'm like, I'm not saying that live. Look at that team over there, they're gonna crush me. He goes, no, seriously, the ratings, we need you to say it live. I'm like, are you serious? Like, I don't really want to say that. He goes, no.
I'm going to be looking through my ear hole again.
So anyway, so I did and ran with it, and the rest is history. I didn't know it'd be stuck on the internet the rest of my life.
Yeah, and our outlet's probably guilty of putting that out there a little bit, especially.
Well,
so.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to go anywhere now. It's pretty much out there.
Yeah, exactly.
But are there players that you've coached that have used that against you, or that have brought that up to you organically, or you're like, holy shit, I didn't know you knew? Or do you put that up on a PowerPoint slide before you play Ohio State? Like,
I feel like that's a summer camp video. Be like, I don't want to hear anybody complaining. Like, we're like, I'm the toughest guy in this room, so we're running 2-a-days.
And there's footage of you with the neck brace on, supporting the teammates. I mean, there's a lot of stuff here you could use as an example of how to be a good, tough teammate.
I probably should utilize it more than I do. No, I try to kind of just keep it behind the scenes, but all of our players have seen it, so they kind of know what I stand for. And in today's age of concussions, I really have to keep my mouth shut.
Yeah.
When somebody gets hurt, and say, okay, let the doctor and trainers handle it. But back then, I had a concussion. I came back and played the next week. That's just what you did, 20 years ago. But I am for player safety, and I don't want to do that anymore. But yeah, that's how I used to play back in the day.
For sure. Well, Coach, thanks for joining us. Good luck this weekend. Great time for the Purdue Boilermakers.
Yeah, and that's kind of the deal. Like, whoever is the most recent coach to come on our show, they become our favorite team. So you got Mel Tucker in a couple of weeks. He's dead to us. That was back in August. We're Brohm guys now.
Yeah, and you know what? I want to personally thank you. You're responsible for 2 Illinois Bowl appearances. I'm a huge Illinois fan. 2010, 2011. The work you did with quarterback play there, it's just traditionally and historically awful. I don't want to get into that shit, but
well, you know what? Now you brought that up. Our quarterback at the time was Nathan Schillhouse, and we had 2 bowl victories with him as our quarterback, and I think at least one year he was MVP of the game. But now he's coaching at Iowa State, but he did a tremendous job for us as a quarterback. I remember he was such a good leader, a good player, but during Skelly, which is when you're supposed to really pass the ball good, it was the worst period of the day. Like, our offensive coordinator would be like, God dang, can't you throw the ball? I said, hey, let's get to something else. So, but with that ability, he still was able to function and play well at a high level. And he was just a great leader and tough, and really kind of what you like to have in quarterbacks is just the leadership skills and the toughness.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't think that'll be on display this week against Wisconsin. That's why I like Purdue this weekend. We don't need to get into that anymore. Thanks so much for jumping on the show, Coach. We'll love to talk to you, connect you, and we look forward to doing it again soon.
He only looked over at the PR guy twice to be like, these guys are idiots.
All right.
What did you
Thanks,
sign
guys.
me up
You guys
for?
take care. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Thanks, Coach.
What a football guy.
Big time.
What a football guy.
I like that he talked the XFL meme clip. Like that was.
Yep.
We didn't want to get that out of him. We didn't want to be cheesy, but we just had to once it got going.
And he gets it, too. He gets it. Like, he's like, yeah, you got to – what do they say? What does Ken Jack say? You got to let the pigs have their slop.
Yep.
Yeah.
We needed our slop.
No.
And we, like, you could tell that he thought we were pigs. It worked perfectly. But I liked him a lot. And a big one against another friend of the program coming up in a few weeks against Michigan State. So, so Purdue – I think they're in kind of in a decent spot to maybe pull off a miracle and get in the Big Ten West. So they got some winnable games. So it'll be an interesting stretch for them.
Good luck to Coach Brohm. Good luck to the Bears this week. I don't know if we got to touch on it a whole lot, but because we did in the Tuesday episode. But since we recorded, Robert Quinn is on the COVID list. Doesn't help, Dave.
It doesn't help, which
you cannot lose him and still win. Is that what Trent Dilfer said?
You
I think
cannot lose and still win.
You cannot lose games in the NFL and still win. That's what he said.
That is a fact.
All-time quote.
That is a fact.
Tough loss.
That's like Michael Magic Johnson quote on steroids right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the big note. We'll see, man.
Yeah, if you
Yeah.
didn't catch the Tuesday show, we went heavy on the Bucks, heavy on the Packers reactions, and just like the Eddie Jackson, Lance Briggs stuff. We've done that song and dance.
Can I say something? I feel like this game, like we're all kind of taking like a mental bye week. Like we've already kind of resided to the fact that this is probably not going to go well. We just got beat up by the Packers. Like I'm not getting like emotionally or mentally invested in this.
And
game.
you know what that means?
What?
They're going to be down. It's going to be when we played the Saints at home last year, and they're like, oh, we're going to get fucking boat raced off the field.
Yeah.
And we played the Saints tough. We took a lead in the halftime, and Drew Brees just absolutely fucked us up in that fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's also just the biggest age gap between starting quarterbacks ever. So
Oh, I like that.
22 years.
I like
Yeah.
that.
Yep.
There's something about watching games at Tampa too that it just always seems super bright. You know what I mean?
the
Like their
thing.
day
yeah,
games.
I don't know
are
why
like,
that is. That's a good point.
Well, it's the Sunshine State, isn't
Yeah.
it? Gorgeous.
Yeah, like
Is
there's something
Florida the
about
Sunshine
it.
State?
I think there might be two Sunshine States.
Hold on. That's
I
what
feel
Google's
like
for, right?
Florida definitely is.
Because California, I feel like California just like takes what they want. They're like, oh yeah, we're the Golden State, we're the Golden Gate.
It says
We got-
Florida.
I like that.
There you go.
Little trivia
Florida's got
there.
an ugly state flag.
Yeah. Ponce de Leon wasn't he the guy who was?
Yeah.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think you are correct.
A lot of those like East Coast early states just have like a weird seal.
Yeah.
It's have some
ugly,
creativity.
yes.
I like it. So we should get a good seal for.
We
for
have a
us.
seal.
We were wearing it. Dave's got it on his head.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean something more. Like we got to have like there's got to be like an eagle or like an eagle's wing in it, a sword. Like some of the stuff, the
I
old
hate
school.
that. Is
I
that
mean,
like
the
Irish
Illinois
fucking
flag.
No,
dress?
I don't. We don't need a coat of arms, Ed.
I don't like those.
Why? Because your buddy's got them all
Fucking-
tattooed on.
Yes. No, I'm kidding. I like Irish people.
No, I like
I'm
Irish
not-
people
No, he doesn't.
too.
I'm not
No, he
like
doesn't.
Dave, who's discriminatory against Italians.
I think
Well, Italians
I
are
think a coat of
disgusting.
arms is more Anglo-Saxon,
I think it is too.
where it's like the house of Williams. Like
I
the
know-
Williams definitely
Yeah.
has a crest, and you should get the Williams crest tattooed.
I'm shocked you're not a tattoo guy.
There's a
Me?
Yes.
How could I pull off a tattoo? I
You
couldn't
just
pull off a
like
tattoo.
right? Doesn't he have
it's
like?
it's the
Sox?
only
Dude, the White
thing you're
Sox
missing
crowd.
from White Sox bingo.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Tom,
That is pretty true.
Tom, what was one of your big realizations about White Sox fans? You said something about
I said my first experience there. There's more tattooing than skin in that parking lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's true.
Marty
It's true.
had the great tweet when you guys were at the game together. He just took a picture of you. It's like everyone here looks exactly like Dave, and it's like
true.
kind of
That
true.
is- that is true. It's shocking that White Sox Dave's not a tattoo guy. You need
Right.
like barbed wire around like your calf.
Yes, or he just needs something on his arm
Something.
for when he wears the tank tops. We'll use the proper terminology here. That you could like.
mean
just
the
see
Dago
there.
tee?
You know?
Wow.
Oh,
I
my.
take
Wow.
offense to that.
Wow.
You can't say that. You know what I mean? Like if he was a Notre Dame guy, like the Fighting Irish guy on his arm would be perfect. Perfect.
No, thank you.
What about
Would it not
all right?
be?
It's either the Sox logo, like the SOX stacked on top of each other, or the Hitman. Like the old school,
Yeah, the old school logo.
that just gets repurposed for everybody's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The next bet I make with you, yes. Can you get a tattoo?
No.
Just like a grinder rule on your leg. Like it's not gonna be.
There won't be any grinder rules going on my fucking calf, my hip, my ass cheek,
A silhouette of
tri.
Mark Burley with his hands on top of his head.
I bet you
after a
Nick
perfect
Tarani
game.
could get him to get a tattoo.
No, he couldn't.
I bet you he could.
No, he couldn't.
I bet you he could.
No, he couldn't.
He would trick you into doing it.
I would never. I really think I would never get a tattoo. You'd have to pay me a lot of money.
What if the Sox won a
They're-
World Series?
If something subtle, I would make that trade. Yes.
How much would it take to get a Sox 2022 World
yeah.
Series?
Soxtober
Right now.
2022.
Right now,
Yeah.
start throwing numbers out there, and I'll say yes or no.
Well, how much did you have to get paid to eat a lobster roll from Quiznos?
$500.
So
What did I say the other day I wanted Dave to do?
Oh, fuck. Yeah, we were talking about it with Danny, and he was
Yes. And I said I don't think you do it for $500,000. It was like something. I don't know what it was.
Can I make a confession about the lobster roll?
No, he
by
said
the
he
way?
would take $500,000. We were like,
You
dude,
liked it.
$500,000.
No. It was
He
disgusting.
would take $500,000.
But I bought a foot long for the lobster roll from Quiznos, and I only ate half of it, and then everyone's like, "All right, here's the money," and I like looked away. I'm like, I still have half to go. And then just kind of subtly chucked it, and then no one ever noticed. I
So
never
that
told a
means you
soul
all have
until
to-
right now.
That means you all have the money to charity.
Nope.
$250 to the charity of my choice.
Nope.
All right.
All right, punt, pass, and kick.
And the name it.
I'm kidding.
When are you gonna do the pump passing?
I'm
kick?
not. I'll do it. I'll do it when Chief does the turducken.
I mean, I still have the turkey in
I'm
my
sorry.
freezer. But that
I don't think that
that
turkey is good anymore.
if it's been deep frozen the whole time, you don't think so?
Are we?
Yeah,
maybe.
Is
I
it,
think it is.
14 months or 26 months late on the punt passing kick?
That was 2019.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, we
That
had
was October.
we
That was
had a-
August of 2019.
Yeah.
we had a pandemic. What do you want from me?
So we're over 2 years away. He had the field reserved and everything.
I did, yeah. I had to get a fucking insurance and everything for the field.
Down payment deposit for the
It
field.
was like $180.
That is.
Damn.
I love that. That's what I love about you, Dave. It was so easy. As Dan's like, yeah, just run a punt pass
You
and
guys
kick contest.
know as much as I do
Oh.
that if
What?
I would have half-assed that and brought him to like Lincoln Park with like fucking my high school buddies and we did it, that you guys wouldn't have accepted it.
I don't. Maybe not. You could be right. He could be right. But if
You
you,
guys
got
would've-
but if you got 20 guys in a field like and you just did a punt, pass, and kick, you would have had an argument. You like were renting out fields. You were doing charities.
Oh, he brought in like a
Yes,
dog
exactly. You were
shelter.
getting a dunk
Yeah.
tank. Like it was like trying to make this like
Turned it
way
into a
hard,
carnival.
Yeah, way harder
And
on
then-
yourself than it had to be.
That's because he's
Well,
a
it was
carny
all,
by nature.
it was all set up and it was for March and then everything shut down and we just never did it.
What was it?
It was the jackass astronaut helmet farting into the helmet.
Oh, no.
Please,
No.
please, come on.
No.
When-
Where it puts like
See what I'm
the
talking
aquarium.
Yeah, the jackass helmet, and someone farts or shits into like the tube.
Mm-hmm.
How much would it take for you to
A
do
lot
that?
of money. We'll start throwing numbers out.
$500.
No, not even close.
1,000.
No.
You wouldn't sit there and just take a fart to the face for $1,000.
I don't know.
What if it was from a girl?
No.
Dude,
That's even worse.
I think
No.
I'd do that for $1,000
I would.
How long do you have to have the helmet on?
$1,000
until
is-
the I don't know a minute.
a minute. I would do it. For
I would do a
$1,000
minute for
bucks.
$1,000.
Yeah, it's not like you got to live in the helmet, guys. It's not like you're a fucking.
Oh, dude,
Gotta
but like
come
the
on the
first,
show.
you definitely.
Okay.
The first 10 seconds, you'd puke up a
What
little.
are we even doing in this show?
I don't know, but I like it.
Like, the Bears are playing. Dave, you want to have a helmet fart?
I
You
got
know
an
what I'm
idea.
talking about, Dave?
Oh, I know
Is
exactly
it like
what
the
you're
old
talking about.
scuba metal mask that you got to open it? You know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about?
Yeah,
yeah.
like the
The guy
the
with the
deep
metal
sea- the
boots
deep sea
walking
diver,
around
yeah.
the ocean.
Yeah.
Just
it's
hook somebody's ass up. To
What
one of
would it
those.
take you to do the like crane bungee cord porta potty thing?
Oh fuck.
I wouldn't do that just because I'd be afraid of death more than
Yeah, I
anything.
wouldn't. Like, yeah, the shit part really.
That's
would,
like
it
the
would be
easy part.
unfortunate, yes,
Yeah.
but just like having a C4 injury just doesn't sound fun.
No,
You got how many C's are there?
but
I don't know. Gotta
For
be
the
like
record-
at least 4, right?
I will be raising $1,000 for you to do this.
To do what? This? I never said. I said I think. I never made a decision.
Okay. Well, I will be blogging this tomorrow. And I
Eddie
will
wants
be trying
You
to-
don't spin this on me.
I will be
Eddie
trying
wants-
to.
No, this is.
Oh, you don't want it to spin on you?
What are you? Be with
I
me
got
for a second.
Hey, shut up! I got to get out of
Be with
jail
me for
free
a second.
card.
This guy's been shitting
When
on
I
us all
went to
show.
2 Windy City
true.
Bulls games alone, you didn't take the bus to Peoria and you didn't do the turducken. So I don't want to hear about the stupid fucking punt, pass, and kick. And I will be trying to raise as much money as possible to do this. I'm going to write a
Don't
blog
raise as
about
much
it.
money as possible.
No,
raise
no,
$1,000.
no. I didn't. I said I
No, now he's
think.
backtrack.
I did not.
Okay,
I,
1,500.
He
You
said
know how
1,000.
easy this will be.
I
said
did not
1,000.
say it.
So if
Get the
I
potatoes out of here, Brandel.
You did say it. You did say it.
I
You
said,
said I would do
think.
it for a minute.
I said I think.
Oh, technicalities
allow
here.
me to think. It's
Hey,
been
it's a good
3
thing this
minutes
is
in the
being
moment.
recorded.
I'm trying to like. We're like that's what people don't. How hard is it to make decisions a split second on the air right here?
I don't know. I think you're backtracking pretty
I think
quick
he's
here.
backtracking too.
This
The
is-
point of it. But here's the thing.
Let's do it.
Even if I would do it, it would be so much funnier if it was him.
For you,
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I think people. Like, that was a good try, Ed. Damn, everyone, you guys are getting a fucking like textbook lesson from Ed on these subtle
No,
manipulations.
Carl, you know it, and you know it too. To see this guy in a fucking
Well,
astronaut helmet would be unbelievable.
it ain't happening. Did you just fart?
No, it's my chair. What the fuck?
I mean, that was a valid question. It sounded like a fart.
It was not a fart, I promise.
I'll know if it was a fart.
No, you won't. Unless it smelled.
Well, I mean, farts typically smell like shit because it's air passing through shit out your asshole.
Oh, it's so funny, dude.
I do agree with that on that.
What?
I think your face in there.
It wouldn't, but I'm not doing it. So,
I mean,
if you can raise 25 grand,
This is bullshit. It's
25 grand?
half will go to me, half will go to a charity
See,
of
that's not-
You're not
choice.
getting 12.5 to have a minute-long
This guy
fart.
thinks he's fucking Ben Affleck. People like
No, I don't.
25 grand. That's
I got a
quite
price.
the admission.
Yeah, no shit. There's a reason that it's quite the admission. I mean, that's my going rate.
We could do it.
You think you raise 25 grand for that?
If we get this in the hands of
How about-
Portnoy and Big
Fuck.
Cat.
Yep.
That's
How about
exactly.
How about this? How about
I don't think we'd be
I
able to
think
post
we're
this
right.
anywhere.
I think absolutely.
Why not?
We're
Why
right.
not?
What, like
we're-
fucking XNXX and Pornhub? Like that's
Oh,
it.
come on. This isn't. No, this isn't.
No, to have him in a space suit.
It's
let's
shit, dude.
Jackass made it work.
Just make it farts.
Yeah.
It's shit.
You don't. It doesn't have to be on camera.
What do you
can
mean?
Have that
Who's
I-
now we
I
gotta take
know.
a shit?
We
Yes,
can
it's
get this
shit.
sponsored, and I feel like we can get that.
We'll
Who's
get
gonna
it.
maybe Dude Wipe.
We'll
Dude
have
Wipe.
Dude Wipe sponsor it.
It might.
And how about this? Instead of 25 grand, you want to be a team guy? If we double our subscribers to YouTube,
Would you do
No.
it for 25 grand?
No, I
if
don't
we go
see
to
that.
For a
60,000,
minute?
Yeah.
You guys juice us up to 25 grand.
Well,
half.
so yeah,
charity.
hey, yeah, I'll do it.
I would absolutely.
What'd
do
you
it.
say?
we're saying half would go to charity, so it'd be like 12.5 grand.
This guy's all,
gee
you know,
whiz.
nice guy Dave, always adding charity. Take some money.
12
Yeah, why are
grand's
you
a
so
lot of money.
charitable?
12 grand's a
You
lot of
fuck.
money.
Did any charities help you as a young boy?
No.
I mean, would you do it for 1,000?
I mean, it's just a way.
Why are we back? We were just up to 12.
I'm just asking though.
Sounds like we get a lot more.
He's
than
trying to get
1,000.
you to commit, so then
do
he'll
it,
be
yeah.
like, "Oh well, Carl said he'd do it for 1,000," and then there you go.
That's
Yeah, I would-
exactly.
I
it.
would- hey, I would-
You said subtle
It
subtle
took us. It took
manipulation.
us 3 years, but we're all on to Eddie's games now.
No.
Oh, Eddie is a fucking game.
So
like, have
here's-
you ever seen Hunger Games?
No, actually,
There's a guy who designs the games, and this is where everybody else kills each other. Eddie's the game maker. Eddie's the guy sitting up there like, ooh, we should drop some
guy
more
with, like, the
arrows
weird
in.
white hair?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, him, and then there's another guy.
The lady, right?
Another guy.
Why?
I
Because I,
know
want
you-
to
I
see
think I
someone
know.
take a shit in an astronaut helmet with White Sox Dave wearing it.
Because you just like to orchestrate
Why
the
shit
chaos.
now? You mean fart?
Whatever the bit was on Jackass that Dave England did.
It was supposed to be a fart, but
No,
he ended up
if you're
shitting.
25 grand, it's shit, buddy. It's shit. Because a fart is too unpredictable.
That is true.
It's
I have a
too
guy we could
unpredictable.
call in from Oregon.
Really?
Yeah,
He's
he has
got
to go see it.
consistent farts?
He has to go see a doctor. His farts are so bad.
Like
he was on the
Asher-
baseball team with us, and he would sit in the back of the bus. It would. I mean, at some points it was really funny, but it was honestly so bad he couldn't go more than 10, 15 minutes, and he still can't without just clean his colon. There's something wrong with his colon.
Oh, he's got
I-
colon blow.
Yeah, I think it's I don't know, but
That's bad.
I know a guy who could cut a fart bad enough to make it worth for 25 grand.
Really?
I feel like for 25, it's got to be multiple farts.
25, it's got to be shit, dude. And it's got to be more time. I'm sorry. That's an astronomical number.
Well, he's got to. You
Well,
basically
you
got to
also don't
suck
wanna
the
kill
fart
him.
out of his ass at that
What do you mean
point.
kill him? You're not going to die.
carbon
Suffocate.
monoxide or something.
Methane.
Yeah. Didn't you ever hear those rumors? when you
Choking
were a
on his
kid?
own vomit while he's inside of a fucking astronaut
yeah,
mask.
fucking-
Was that funny to you, Ed?
We'll have a fucking EMT on standby. We'll call someone from
Is there-
fucking the fire department. He'll be here.
Is there a risk of inhaling fecal matter?
Yeah.
don't
Then
care.
Dave's got pink eye for a long time too.
And that shit spreads like wildfire.
Sure does.
You'd all have it too, just by being in the same vicinity. It spreads easier than the Delta variant. I will be constructing this blog tomorrow, and Ed will be wearing
What do you?
the
No,
astronaut mask.
no.
You're such
Tomorrow
a,
meaning
you're
today
s-
when people are listening to this.
Well, yes, on Thursday. And Ed will be wearing the astronaut
Oh,
helmet.
you just went from you. It just went from me to you. How did
well,
that
you
happen?
know my rate. You know my rate.
Ed did say he'd do it for 1,000.
I didn't. I said I think
Well,
I might.
that's the beautiful thing about Redline Radio is that it's a recorded podcast.
Well,
so we
all
can
right,
check
we'll go
the
back
tape.
and listen.
Tom, you got those things bookmarked or whatever?
Yes.
Okay.
No, I don't. I can.
Well,
can find
go
them.
back and find it.
I will.
All right. Why don't you guys do it together?
You got to know.
No, I don't like this because now he's going to blog it. This is... This was my fucking hypothetical, and Dave's
You got topsy-turvy on
somehow
you.
spun it on me.
Because you said you'd do it for $1,000, and I said 12.5 for me.
I know, but I was more so just illustrating how ridiculous it is that you have such a high price tag.
How about if he does it and survives, then he gets to pick what tattoo you get.
Now we're getting somewhere. I'm not
Let's
saying
make a
yes
deal.
to that.
Let's make a deal.
I'm not saying yes to that, but I would want to be the farter.
You would want to?
Yeah, for you. And I would hit up fucking the nastiest late night Mexican joint you could think of the night before. Just eat enchiladas and burrito suizos and a bunch of refried beans.
Have some couple of stouts. Wash it down with a couple of stouts.
Oh yeah, lots of stouts. Cranberry juice and apple juice, everything.
I'm trying to find
Half a gallon of milk.
Just for fun.
Well, that'd be just what I wash it down with anyways.
You're not just going to roll up emptying a fucking Mexican snowman shit into my fucking helmet.
Well,
This is such a stupid show.
You ever have those Mexican snowmans?
I
Where
don't-
it's like a snowball. You could claymation it.
What?
I don't know what you're
I
talking
don't
about.
know what you're
A
talking about.
Mexican snowball?
Snowman
It sounds
shit.
like one of those weird sex acts that you find on like E-Bombs World and
It's a Cincinnati
Urban
car
Diction-
bomb. Dave.
Yeah, like a Dirty Sanchez and
You know what I mean.
What's
don't.
a Cleveland Steamers if I take a dump on your chest? What's a Cincinnati car bomb?
I
though?
forget.
What's going on in Ohio?
Do you remember? Apparently, a bunch of depraved perverts in Ohio. Do you remember what the bucking bronco is?
I've never heard of that one either.
Do you guys want to say it?
No. I don't know what it is.
Nah, you can't say it. It's cancel worthy, but it's funny. I'll tell you guys.
Well,
off-
you already brought it up, but don't say it. But why'd you bring it up if it's cancel worthy?
Because it's. I mean, those who aren't mentally deranged can have a laugh at it.
All right. I don't know what it is, but it's fine. We got anything else?
Yeah, we do actually. The Tom Ricketts wrote a very embarrassing letter last week. Did any of you guys see this?
I
No.
did not, actually.
Did he give a Cleveland steamer to Cubs fans?
And then we ended up hiring a steamer from Cleveland, though.
Mm-hmm.
Our new GM, which I didn't know the Cubs. I knew that I knew that Jed Hoyer got promoted to be the club president when Theo resigned. I didn't know that we spent the last 11 months without a general manager. Like, our front office just didn't have a GM.
Yeah.
Because it was like, all right, now Jed's in charge. He's going to do the president stuff. So from that perspective, I was kind of
Can you explain what the difference is?
yeah, the president's in charge of the whole operation. The general manager's in charge of the contracts and the roster.
Yeah, but like the Hawks have that now. Like Stan's been promoted president of hockey operations, but like he's making all the moves.
Yeah, so like the president's going to hire the manager. The president's going to work with the business side on the budget.
Mm-hmm.
The president's going to interface with, Ricketts.
Okay.
And is going to oversee the whole entire operation. Minor league stuff,
Okay.
player development, fucking probably has insight into the training staff and like, the rehabilitation, what's our strategy with rehabilitation. Just like a total fucking
Okay.
high level CEO kind of move. And then the GM is his kind of general. It's out in the battlefield, like taking care of the major league roster.
Oh, and that's
Mostly
Okay.
major league roster.
Okay.
And then the scouting and development stuff, he's the guy who's working with the minor league group being like, this is what we need for the major league roster.
Okay.
This is where our focus points are, kind of setting like
okay.
it's kind of setting principles out and priorities of like how we're going to develop guys.
Okay, so that's different than I always just kind of assumed that it was kind of a title thing. Like you get paid at a different level if you're the president versus general manager, but you're still like push comes to shove, you have final say.
So I think Jed still has final say on like a lot of stuff.
Okay.
And so his job is gonna be to work with Jed and kind of get some relationship where Jed ultimately is like, all right, I'm buying into your ideas. But I would imagine up front he'll have to be selling Jed on his ideas of like, hey, we should do this. I like to sign this free agent. Here's my strategy for the offseason.
Okay. But like an agent calls, they're calling the GM and not Jed directly.
Now that's interesting. I would probably say yes, but you probably would, if the agent has a relationship with Jed, I'd probably start with Jed.
Okay. Right. Interesting.
And then it would be like, well, let's meet Carter Hawkins.
Never heard of him.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting because he's 37, and I feel like that's a weird age because you either would get hired younger because you'd be like, hey, this guy's super fucking sharp. Like when they hired Scotty Harris, he was 26 years old. He came in as a chief chief of staff, basically, director of operations, and then groomed himself. Now he's the GM for the Giants. They thought he would be in this position. But that's, you see these young guys, hey, 28 years old, fucking sharp, little experience doing this. He's 37. Plenty of teams have had an opportunity to bring this guy in as a GM for a number of years. So now it's like after this Cleveland Indians year, they weren't really... they've been good at developing pitchers. I know he's not the one who's in charge of trading guys at the deadline and stuff. So they've sold off a lot of what they've developed, and I'm surprised. It's just a weird. It's like a sweet. If it's not like an older guy that's seasoned, that's been around the block and knows his shit. It's not this like young whiz kid.
Yeah,
he's like a legitimate 30s, like late 30s guy who's just like.
It's crazy
from
that
Cleveland. I don't know.
That's considered like kind of old.
Based on
I know.
I wouldn't
from
say
the
that.
other.
It's just a gray area, like Theo and Scotty Harris and people like that. They're like, those are prodigies, so they're kind of on the low end of the spectrum. But at the same time, there's a lot of guys like Rick Hahn who are in mid-50s that. I don't want to throw Rick under the bus. I don't know if he's mid-50s. I'm guessing he's like...
he's probably...
He looks very good
I would
for
say
mid-50s.
He's not mid-50s.
Mid-40s.
I'd say he's
think
probably
actually,
closer
he
to
got-
like 48, maybe.
Yeah, so we can look at that.
I got it.
He got hired
1971.
10 years ago already, 2011.
It's 50.
So, yeah, so he was 40, so he was right there too. But a lot of guys, it's like, fucking Gene Klentek and your guy, Dombrowski. He's a Rice guy, right?
He went to Richards, who's an Oaklawn guy.
Okay.
We love Dombrowski. Went to Western Illinois, studied accounting. Non-remarkable academic background, and he just fucking kills it at the major league
That's
level.
the same with Mike Rizzo.
Yeah, Mike Rizzo also went to Illinois.
He went to Holy Cross, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is like...
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I had no
Holy
idea
Cross
Mike Rizzo
committed
was-
Illinois, but then played professionally. Mike Rizzo is the GM for the Nationals World Series champ.
Yeah.
And then went back to Illinois after he got done playing professionally, coached with Augie Garrido as a volunteer assistant
know that.
coach, and then kind of got his start in baseball that way.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So full circle shit here, but coming back to this GM and the 37-year-old that we hired, there's going to be a lot of pitching development. It'll be interesting to see how this kind of shakes out, if this guy's good or not good. He reminds me if someone poached Rick Hahn from the White Sox. Like Rick Hahn had been with the White Sox doing contracts, was an up-and-comer, and then he just kind of got developed in the White Sox. This would be like pulling Rick Hahn away from the White Sox. And
The Blue Jays tried to do that prior to Rick Hahn being named GM back in 2011.
so,
Is that why they named them GM?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
and then closing thoughts.
I believe it was.
I blogged about the Ricketts letter. You can go check that out if you're interested. He sent this, what I perceived to be an embarrassing letter, being like, we'll be competitive next year, speaking in clear terms and vague, and just kind of throwing stuff around it. That if you take it with your knee-jerk reaction, be like, oh, I feel good after reading this letter. But if you actually read and think about what these words mean,
Yep.
we'll be competitive. Like, what does that mean? Were we competitive this year? You could say in some respects. So I don't necessarily know what that means. The bringing in the GM though, this could be an interesting offseason for getting better pitching, because the pitching's fucking terrible. And hopefully this Carter Hawkins guy has his eyes on a couple low-level free agents that can make an impact, like Scotty Harris did with the Giants this year. Mm-hmm. So, fucking Cubs fans, we didn't have a GM for last year. And this is why I would rather sit here and talk about White Sox Dave gas masking me with his ass.
Yeah.
$1,000.
Yeah, the Hawks did. Hawks did that same letter last year, and then they threw it in the trash this year. So it's just like a way to like, oh, maybe you want to buy season tickets.
Yeah,
I don't know.
right.
That's like we're gonna
Give them the gleam.
We're gonna sell. We're gonna be competitive. We got a long term view, but we want to win and blah blah blah. It's not up to our standard. It's all. It's I think it's a way to like be like, hey, we know you're pissed, but please renew.
So this is why I subscribe to the pig theory. At sometimes I do wish I was a pig and I just got up and, like Ken Jack says, I ate my slop and I didn't know. And one day I went to the slaughterhouse. What sucks about this is I know that it's like an act and they're full of shit. Like I'm too.
It's a red pill.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like I'm too in touch with the actual reality.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough.
But man, it would be nice to go back to when it was like '98 and you're just a kid. You're like, man, Henry Rodriguez, 40 homers. This guy's the best.
Yeah.
So, all right. That's a shit on the Cubs. Bears, obviously, that line moved to 12
One
and a
other
half.
Bears note. I don't know if you guys saw the Jalen Johnson posted his fine on Instagram.
He'll probably get
He
fined
was
for that,
late.
right?
He was late. He said he
Internal
walked in,
fine?
Yes. He came to a meeting at 8:16, and Nagy fined him $2,700. And he posted on an IG story, said, "This shit crazy, bro. Walked in as it turned 8:16, and they taxed me like this."
What time did the meeting start?
I don't know. It doesn't say.
Well, it's if it's an 8 o'clock meeting, then you're 16 minutes late. I think you should probably be fined more. If you're 1 minute late,
I don't like that though.
What?
Oh,
I don't
it sounds
that.
like it was an 8:15
meeting.
because he's saying I walk in as it turned 8:16.
Yeah. I don't like that though. One of our young guys, but we'll see. Good on Nagy for finding him.
Yeah,
though.
yeah.
I mean, that's
I believe in Coughlin time for that. So, yeah.
But just a note, just a
Dude, it's weird. He gets like a formal letter from Matt Nagy. If you haven't seen this, check this. This is like
I'm sure that's pretty common.
yeah, but
Yeah.
if they said, hey, you're gonna get fined,
Yeah.
I don't see it as like here's formal correspondence from the head coach signed pursuant to the collective bargaining agreement. Like, yeah, I'd be fucking pissed if I got this shit.
Yeah.
What if Jalen Johnson whipped out his fucking sledgehammer of a dick and pissed on it, like in Major League?
Thank you, David.
That's not a rhetorical question I'm asking. What if he did that?
All right, then
It would be a heftier fine.
I'd be a bigger fine.
Yeah.
Do you know he's got a big one?
Maybe.
Just because he plays like
He has a metaphorical big dick on the football field.
Well, this has been an interesting Red Line Radio.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do
Yeah,
we
it was-
want to talk about the Hawks game, home opener, all that at
Oh,
all?
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know you. I thought you didn't want to.
No, I didn't say
Oh,
that.
sorry.
No, wait. I mean, Carlton's like everybody, like national media is tweeting about like Carlton watch is going to get fired. A lot of empty seats for a home opener like I've never seen. They lost again. Do you guys see when he came out and it was just like a rain of boos like I've never heard from the United Center for the coach?
I was seeing a lot of shit that just people saying fire Jeremy and shit.
Yeah,
like that.
chance of fire Jeremy. And while all that was going on, the Hawks had by far their best game of the year. Like by far. They were actually very good, played like a very good 45, 50 minutes, gave up a couple bad goals, and then lost 4-1. So I think if, you know, like Dave always talks about, like your approach, like you want to see guys at the plate have a good approach. They had a good approach last night.
Okay.
So we'll see if they can replicate that. If they play exactly like that on Thursday, tonight, against Vancouver, they'll win. But if they don't win, then they should probably fire Carlton. Because, like, you can't start 0-5. They started 0-4 last year. Like, it's time to start really, like, actually watching to see if they fire him. Like, after last night. Even though they played well.
And they said he's not on the hot seat.
Stan says he's not on the hot seat. He just got an extension. But, you know, they fired Savard after 4. They fired Joel after 13. It's going to be – it's –
Was he already locked up for this year if he didn't get that extension?
yeah.
Then what was the fucking point of giving him an extension? What's the fucking point? I hate when they do that.
The only thing I
Like
would
people are fucking clamoring. Like it's a fucking power. It's like it's a G5 school who wants to lock up their guy because they're afraid a Power 5 school is going to get. Who the fuck is going to hire Carlton away?
Not that they'd hire him away. The only thing I could think of is you better listen to the coach because he's going to be here. So there are no mutinies because he's a dead man
Who
walking.
the fuck is he to get that fucking leash?
I agree. But if you're trying to be like, hey, this is our guy, and you guys all better buy in, instead of like rolling over and having a mutiny to start the year because you fire him, well, guess what? Like he's going to be here longer than you. So that's the only thing I can think of. But I did like their game last night, and I was somewhat encouraged. But people are irate. So it was crazy to see empty seats and then just nothing but boos. Like they booed the team going off the ice at the end of the game, lost 4-1. Like it's on opening night. It's. I'm glad people still care because that's a little bit different than how it was. But it is dark days.
Do they though? If seats were empty, do they though?
It was an announced sellout because they always fudge those numbers. So let's say if it's
Every team does that.
yeah,
Yeah.
let's say if it was 21, there might have been like I would say maybe 17. A lot of empty seats in the lower bowl. You can get in for $8 last night.
I saw you tweet that.
Yeah, so
I'm down to go to games for $8 again.
yeah, that was $4 a student ID.
Yep.
It's not bad, and just like the old days. But yeah, the Hawks are. I want to be positive because they played so well last night, and it would be way easier to just be like fire everyone. But if they play like they played last night consistently, they'll be fine. But it's just if they can do it consistently. The approach was correct. That's it. That's all I got.
You guys could take Carter Hawkins.
I think he's probably qualified.
No, I should be nicer to Carter Hawkins.
Yeah,
I
you
just
called
say-
him a doofus.
No,
You said he looked like a doofus,
he's got doofus face.
which he does.
Thank you.
Yeah, he does. I read the blog, and I'm like,
And
Pretty
I wasn't
fucking
trying.
bang
I
out.
wasn't trying to. And I was like, hey, I'm.
yeah.
This guy's bright. He's sharp. Vanderbilt. Like all the stuff. Like he definitely checks every box. However,
Having
he comes
said
to the
that,
podium. Yeah, he comes to the podium. Kind of a doofus face.
the whole thing, like the button downs, the whole. I don't know.
It's like carrying the tie into work, but
He seems like a guy they hired just so they could fire him. That's what he looks like.
and that was. I was like, oh, this is a good move for Jed. Bring in fresh blood away from the organization. Little fall guy. But then I also like the spin zone that baseball has led the charge in getting smart and nerdy, and everybody's trying to find the sharpest tool in the shed. And like, there's something to be said about having like a doofus to think different and keep it simple.
Yeah, I like that. Mm-hmm.
We got plenty of smart guys in this building.
So what was that Bill Gates quote? He said like he liked C students because they would try to always find the lazy way out. But if you knew
It's
they
the
were-
most efficient.
yeah,
Yeah.
just like that.
Yeah.
Did he say that?
It
He
was
said
some-
something
it was
to that.
somewhat-
Directionally
yeah.
correct. That's directionally correct.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was. Sounds like a crock of shit to me.
Speaking of crocks of shit, Ed's gonna take this fart mask and
All right.
I found the. It's not a fart mask, by the way.
What
It's
is it?
It's shit or no deal.
What do you mean?
What?
You're gonna have to do shit.
Oh, so that guy did puke.
Oh yeah,
Steve-O,
Steve.
yeah.
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 You never.
I don't
Interesting
remember
shit.
that,
scene?
No.
Oh, so it's like a beer bong
Yes.
Yeah.
that I
Yeah,
poop
I-
into.
Yes.
I think they like rigged it themselves.
yes.
I'm out. I'm out.
Well,
I don't-
Ed's doing it for $1,000.
I'll do Cameo and promote it relentlessly
You're
before
doing
I do
it.
this.
You're doing it for 25. That's the deal.
12.5, but 12.5 charity as well.
I don't get the charity thing.
It's like
It'll give people more incentive to pay towards it.
Yeah. Don't you know Warby
I
Parker?
no. I think you undervalue how much people would want to see you in an astronaut helmet with someone shitting into the beer pong. I think people would just want to see that in general.
Yeah, I know, and I don't want to.
Like I don't think there's like oh you could see White Sox Dave get shit in a helmet and also a dog's gonna.
I love the idea of Dave
You're
having
really touching on the duality of man there.
the idea of Dave like presenting a check to a charity and be like, "Thanks for this money."
Well, I would just give it to Wishfest, and he would be all aboard.
Yeah.
You know,
How'd
So-
you get this money? Well, I let
I let it my
I let
so
Eddie
we-
shit into my
I
mouth.
put this like fishbowl type thing on my head and kind of sealed it around my face, and then my dude took a shit into a funnel and it just stunk up.
Why?
Quite the show.
I mean, that's what we're talking.
We
about.
could do a live shitting at Bourbon Street for the next Wish Fest then, and like do like raise the money as it goes.
Perfect.
Maybe have a couple guys take a shit.
Oh yeah.
So, well, until then, all gas.
No breaks.
DJ, play that shit.